Mandalorian.
The Mandalorian.
The Mandalorian.
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 The Mandalorian. Star Wars was a big influence on me because it came out in '77. I was born in '66, so I was right at the right age for that thing to hit. And it was before all the hype. You know, it was the first to kind of the popcorn blockbusters. You had that, and then you had Spielberg's films. So you had like Jaws and that. But before then, it was still the '70s. You know, it was '70s movies. And I remember seeing, I don't even remember seeing a commercial. I remember seeing like a picture in the newspaper, like the New York Post or something, about the movie. And it was after it was out already, and it was like, this looks pretty cool. Or it was coming out, I forget. And I saw the picture of like Chewbacca and Han Solo, and whatever the headline was, I was intrigued. And I went to see it, and then it was just like, it just pinned my ears back just looking at that thing, and I was just mouth agape.
There are such universal themes in the Star Wars stories, and ironically, I think people feel that it, you know, despite being fantasy, science fiction, it reflects the world we actually live in its inclusiveness and diversity and conflict.
The Mandalorian, it's interesting. I mean, we all know the helmet, but the helmet is Boba Fett. And that was a big challenge in the beginning of it. And John and I went round and round like, well, how do we tell the story? And it's not Boba Fett, or is it Boba Fett? You know, and we would talk about that, and, you know, but a helmet at the end of the day is a helmet. And I've shown that helmet quite a bit on Rebels and Clone Wars. And so there are fans that get the language of it, that it's, you know, a tool, it's a piece of equipment. But to the average person, if you show them that helmet, if they say anything, they'll say it's Boba Fett. So we immediately started to draw visual, you know, differences between the two characters. Our character is much more bulked up than Boba ever was. His armor is actually quite different if you look at it. His helmet's actually different, little different traits to it. The colors of it, you know, all these things point out at little differences. There are similarities, which are almost unavoidable.
The Mandalorian, whose name is Din Djarin, is your iconically cool, flawed, mysterious, loner, gunslinger that harkens to the, best of the samurai movies and the westerns. And
I think episode 3 at its core is essentially a western. It's a cross between a western and a samurai movie. And when I very first came in and I got the script, that was my first thought, and that's been a very strong reference that John's given us throughout the show.
John, I asked him what should I be looking at. I know he loves movies, I love movies. What would you like me to watch? I asked him, and he immediately brought up Sergio Leone and Akira Kurosawa, Yojimbo, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And so he's very samurai Clint and me.
In this case, since there's real things on the set, we have real cameras and real people. The sets are bigger than they were on Jungle Book, but it's essentially the same formula. And now instead of having a green screen that you have to move around in light, which took forever, and that was really the frustration that led to these innovations, which was how could we do that without green screens next time? And so that led to you have a green stage, you have pre-lit green areas that you could expose, and then it turned into these video walls where you could have green just behind the actor, and then interactive light, which we used on Jungle Book also for shadows and things on the characters, which we were inspired by, like Gravity, where they had all those video panels. So it's like we took all the technology that I've been messing around with from all those other projects and applying it to a very specific application that would work for this.
This new technology brings filmmaking back where it has been and where it should be. You can pick up a camera on your shoulder and do some sort of a choreography between your actors, and the parallaxes of the background will be organized. You see You see the set, and the actors see the set, and they sense it, and they feel it. And this is fantastic. They all know what they are doing. They all have vision, and I think it's basically Jon Favreau's vision that guides the whole thing. And it's very, very pleasant to work on a set where everybody is focused and calm. Never a loud word. I've never heard a loud word. It's beautiful. This is really good in storytelling, and it has a lot of openings for complete fantasy. And I found the dialogues and the constellations of figures in the film quite interesting.